your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, I want to bring to your attention the natural gas. I try to talk about it each day if I can, because it's a wonderful thing to trade for two reasons. Fantastic volatility, great fills, and also, folks, return on margin. The margin on this is around $2,900, and it moves $1,000 a day. If you remember yesterday, we were talking to you about this, and you can see here, this, of course, we came on the air. It was already down quite a bit, but this was the one we sent out in the video. We sent it again last night, and there it was right there, making the same ABCD pattern that it was doing the previous day. You had plenty of time to get into this one because it happened real easily this morning early, and there it was right there at the exact 382. That was an $1,800 move. It's rallied back somewhat, but it's still down on a day. Whenever you're risking $500 on this, and you make 4 times that's what we call a pretty good one. This one is one of those. It's a rare event that you caught quite a bit yesterday, like in the stocks, but you don't catch those all the time. So you've got to be able to book yourself to make sure that when you have a profit in here, that you lock in something. And then, of course, when it gets down this far, you're almost exactly. In fact, if you'd have done the expansion move from this high to this low, you see it came in exactly at the 1.618 expansion, which was $2,000 down from that level. And now we've had this little bit of a rally. So that's what we're watching here when we're watching natural gas. I try to do something every day in it because it does follow the patterns nicely. It doesn't have this herky-jerky motion like you get with the news of whatever's going on in the stock market, whatever flavor of the month they're looking at, and that's what we're paying attention to. Also, I wanted to bring to your attention one other thing, and that is in the Treasury bonds over here, folks. I focused on this yesterday in the Treasury bonds because they've been very, very weak. All right, yesterday we were looking today to put a 382 retracement on here at 24. Now it got to 26, but now it's trading at 19. So you would have got the fill off right here, and that means that you're heading down a little bit lower. Now, someone's asked me to take a look at the gold market from a little bit longer time frame from what we were looking at yesterday. Here's when we had the run. I look at a 13-minute. Here's when we had the run to the new high at 3,500. Folks, we were at 2,900 just a few weeks ago, $600 move up here. We were $100 up and $100 down. The key, there were 2 keys here. First of all, there was your first 382 retracement was right there. That was long. That was 2 o'clock in the morning, so I wasn't available at that time. But you'll see there's where the first key was. That yes, that possibly could be it. But here was the big key right here. You see, you had this. This was the strongest rally that we had all night. That's right there. There it was. We went from 30. We rallied $35. That's right at the harmonic number in gold. So when I came in to start to look at this, and this is when I spotted it, I came in and I said, all right, let's see what that one is. And so I went to the high, and then there's our biggest rally that we had right there, and there it was. It stopped right on the money, and then bang, and then look at this. It just keeps going lower and lower. Here's one of those patterns that we really like, which is the 1, 3, 5 pattern. You see 1, 3, and 5. You have another one, 1, 3, and 5. This tells us that gold may have made some type of a top in here. We're now down $110 from a high, and now we probably got another one to look for. So that's what you want to be watching to see if, in fact, look where we hit, the exact 1.618 of this move right here, folks. So you know that that's a valuable number to walk through. So let's just put it in so everybody can see it. There's your AB leg, there's your CD leg, okay? Now, for some reason, because you don't expand this because it's coming down so far, what it's doing, folks, it's taking this range right here and multiplying it times 1.618 to get there. This ABCD pattern does not reach there, but you see you're coming down really strong, so you have to be able to expand that to 1.27 on the CD leg, and then once you do that, where are you? Almost exactly at the low. This was 82, this is 74. Remember, 1.618 exceeds anything geometrically. These are mathematics, this is geometric, so when you get that 1.618, that's what really counts. So let's just play the devil's advocate and see what happens here. Now, we've made a major low, we think, because of this is the ABCD expansion, all right? So let's see where the first 382 would come in. We'll have to take this one as the first objective, and that would come in right about up here at 3420. So that'd be the first number I'd be watching. The second number I would be watching would be coming off of this one right here, and that'll be quite a bit higher. That'll be up at 3430. So I've got a zone here where I want to see what's happening. Now, we've already rallied. As you can see, we rallied $25 already. So it's telling you it's going to have some type of a rally here. So I'm just watching it only because of the fact that sometimes it gives you really low risk entry points, and return on investment on this, when you're right, is huge. But the problem is, you know, this margin on this is running around, I think it's around pretty close to 15 to 20,000 now. I think it's over 20 now, and so you got to put up 20,000 with the natural gas. You only have to put up 1,900, and you get the same volatility. Hello, operator. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one, correct? At least that's what I'm paying attention to here this morning. Now, I've had a question about wheat, and just give me a second here, and I'll bring up the wheat. Wheat has been selling off, which I've been hoping that it would. You know, hate to use that word, but here's where we are. We're looking at Christmas wheat now, December wheat, folks. So we want to see there, it's backing off. That's what we wanted to see. And here's where we are. We're looking at December wheat. We're almost, oh my goodness, I think we might have made it. Yeah, by golly, we did. This is the Gartley pattern I've been waiting for. There it is. There's your X point. There's your A, B, C, and D coming in at the 707. And let's see what the ABCD measures to. Okay, there's your AB. There's your CD. Ooh, right there at 35. It's already rallied. I missed this one. I was doing too many other things this morning. The number we were looking at down here was at 84. We got to 83, and now it's rallied. Only up 4 cents. And all it's done so far today is make a 382. So we're probably going to have some more time to get in this, because that's all we've done today is just pop up to this. So this is definitely on my watch list, folks. And I'm also looking at the July wheat. These are different. These are basically, they're the same commodity, but they're in a different time zone. Let me get this one up here for the July, and you want to look at that one also. And yeah, there's what I want to see. Okay, here's where we are. You're going to see a totally different pattern when you look at this. Refresh, come on now. Don't let me down. Oh, it's not giving me data. There we go. Here's the same thing in the July, and you'll see here it's doing pretty much the same thing as the December, so there's not too much difference between the crops so far. Let's take a little break. 877-927-6648, and we're going to look at some stocks.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look at a few stocks. Now, I don't do stocks, but when people ask me to take a look at them, I will, and I have been gone for a while, so I've gotten a few stock things. The two we always have are Apple and Tesla. We got Goldman Sachs and also UPS. Now, you'll notice here on Goldman Sachs, we had an ABCD here to the downside. I'm not sure whether it made it exactly. Well, it sure did. There it is at 436, and now we've had a pretty good rally. All the rally's doing now is going from the high that we've had back here. We just made the 382 retracement here the other day, and we're trying to test it again up here at 524. That's where we are. This is still a bear market. That's all I can say. Doesn't look bullish to me. All right, the next one we're going to look at here is NVIDIA. Now, this has been the darling of the industry, and of course, it's up today, but it's had a pretty big run here. Remember, this was the day where we had the Dow Jones up 98,000 or whatever, it was 2,700 that on one day. Now we backed off. All this did was come right down. If you look at it real closely, you can see an ABCD pattern. There's your A, B, C, D coming in there, and if you drew it in, you'd be able to spot it. There's your A, B, C, D coming in right at the 707 yesterday. This market has not rallied very much, folks. A $4 rally, you would think, this being the darling of the industry, it would have done a lot bigger pattern. Now, we also had an ABCD here. Now, let's just check to see how this one worked. There's your AB, there's your CD. It missed it by, let's see how much it missed it by. The number was 83, and it came in at 86, so it missed it by $3. But this is still a bear market, folks. It doesn't look anything exciting to me, but this could change, of course, in a heartbeat. And then we want to take a look here at the two more. We have Apple, I believe, and then we also have to take a look at UPS. This used to be a family member. My daughter-in-law used to work for them, but she got out when it was up around 160. Here it is. That's down to 97 right now. You see, it's going nowhere, folks. This is indicative of what's happening with who's shipping these packages. We have the same thing with Federal Express and same thing with UPS. They're going down, and they're not giving forward guidance because they don't know where they're going. So there's a lot of things happening that, and not easy against the trade, because one day you wake up and something bad has happened. The next day you wake up and something good has happened. So that's pretty much it. Just for, here's the last one, of course, here is Apple. We had the big move down, and then we had the pullback. Let's see what the pullback was right here. This is when, there's where we go. There's where we were. I don't remember if this was the savior. I don't remember. Yeah, I think this was the savior where they said they're not going to do the tariffs or whatever. Now pull back to the 50%. Now we're rallying up, and these markets are bearish, folks. That's basically the bottom line. Just since we've been on the line here, look at this, folks. We've had a 400-point drop in the Dow Jones coming off of that 61% retracement. There it is right there. And we're down $400, 400 points in that period of time right there. That just shows you how quick things move around here, and you got to be ready for it. There was your 61% retracement. It's also 50% off of this number right here, two numbers, and boy, it's down 400 points in, let's just put up a 13-minute chart so we can see how quickly it came down. There it is right there. In 1 hour, that's how much we've dropped. So that's pretty much what we're paying attention to here with this one. But look at this, folks. We were down 1,200, 1,300 points in the Dow, and we rallied 1,400 points, okay? And now we're starting about, this is incredible volatility, okay? The key here, last night, when we were down here and finished this, we finished the day down in here, and then the market gapped up here. Folks, yesterday when we were sitting at this level right here with the S&P 500, that means there's 500 stocks, there were only 25 stocks out of 500. 475 stocks were in red, and 25 were in green. Now, after the market closes, okay, look, you get this big 500-point rally in the Dow Jones. Why don't they buy it during the market hours? Well, anyway, that's what happened, and from there it went 1,400 points higher, stopped at the 61% retracement. So those are some of the things that we're paying attention to. So let's see how it ends up here before the final bell rings here today. All right, let's move on here, and I've already talked about the gold market. We're going to keep an eye on that because we don't know for sure, but the fact that that has happened in the gold is the first sign that we need to pay attention to it. Because, we're not going to sit here and try to enter a position where you got to use a $50 stop in gold. No. Use $10 or you don't play. That's all you have to do. Because when you're trading these numbers up in here, if they're good, they're not going to go much higher than those numbers. We know that from the mathematics of the market. All right, let's take a look, quick look here at the NASDAQ, because it's also been under some pressure. You'll notice that, there's where we were. There was the 50% level just a few minutes ago. We're now 200 points lower in the NASDAQ than we were just a little while ago. This is a perfect Gartley here, folks. And that's a big move. When you're looking from 77 all the way up to 85, that's, that's 8 handles. That's a lot of money. 16 times 2, that's $16,000. Yeah, that's a pretty big run. So there's what you're watching right now. So we're still in a bear market. You can see just looking at this is a bear market. You got lower tops all the way through here. The question is, we're having these tremendous rallies and sell-offs. So you've got to try to be ready. And the only thing I can use is ABCD to really tell me. You can see the bonds selling off a little bit more after we had that sell signal up here at 24, which is doing okay. And they think those are the main ones. Oh, the euro. Remember the euro? We said the euro was ready to have a little bit of a pullback. We had that big run up yesterday, and the key yesterday, there's where we were last night. We had a beautiful Gartley in it last night, real early in the morning, and I'll show it to you right here. There was your move right here. This occurred, as you can see, around 2 o'clock in the morning. Tucson, New York, let me see, 1 o'clock, around 2 o'clock in the morning, New York time. I was already looking at this sweeping angels going through the sugar plums and stuff. But anyway, this is where we were with the euro. And as you look at this, do the same thing like you do when you have the gold or anything else. We want to watch for your first 382 retracement, and there it is right there. That took 2 hours to complete that, but if you go from your high to your low, There was your first three. Well, it actually went to 50%. Then it came down one more time, and I believe this was the 382, because by then I was awake and I was watching it sit there, right there. And as you can see now, it's dropped well over $500 just from that level right there. But there was your 382 right here. If you went to a smaller time frame, of course, 13 minutes, let's just do that for fun. Okay, we'll bring that up. You'll see a little ABCD there. Yep, there it is. There's your ABCD coming in right there, and that would have been right off of the high. Off of that, there's your 61% high. There's your AB. Oh, so if it'll draw it right, ABCD. There's your 382, spot on, and now she's moving down. That's why it gives you some really good entry points when you draw these correctly, and watch for them, because they're not going to jump out at you. But I'm not doing the 24/7 all night stuff anymore, folks. I'm trying to get a little sleep in between these cat naps that I have during the day. So let's take a break. We got Paula Webb coming up, so we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, folks, Paula's having a little rough time getting through today, so as soon as she gets through, we'll have her on the air. Now, let's take a look at the cattle. If you'll remember, last time I was live around here, I remember we were looking for a high to come up in here. Now, we made a slightly higher high, but it didn't go anywhere. And then we had a huge break, came down to the 78% level, and now the cattle are rallying back up again. Folks, these are all-time expensive prices for cattle. And in 1976, when I was at Drexel, they were picketing in the streets there in Rodeo Drive because cattle had reached $1 a pound. Now we're at $2.06, and you can't find a housewife anywhere. But here's what we've got a really nice pattern set up here now. If you like ABCD patterns, and cattle trades huge amounts, folks. These are done by the hedge fund, so they're out there. So watch this level up here at 210. And there's what you want to be watching right there, that 210, get this out of the way. So if we get there, that'll be a really good spot for an ABCD pattern. We're not very far away. We're only 4 cents away. We got live trading coming in on Friday, so that's one of the things that I'm certainly going to be watching. We're up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. So that'd be Thursday, Friday. We'll probably 10 days. We'll probably be really close to it up into this level right here. And it's very, very strong. As you see, it's coming blasting out of here. You're probably going to see a few 382 retracements that would have probably got you into that move. There's the bottom. Well, you don't really, because there's your low. There's your pullback here on the 10th. And since that time, there has not been a 382 retracement in this whole thing. Well, there might be one right there, but that would be there's the low. Let's just see if that was a 382. This is an incredibly strong market, folks. Yeah, there was your last 382 came in right here yesterday, and then of course we gapped up today, so that explains that. So we're heading for around 210, so we'll be watching that one very, very closely. Okay, now let me get out of the way here, and I want to come over and talk about soybeans, because we're in the area where you got to start paying very close attention to soybeans. We're going to bring up July soybeans. That's old crop, and they're jumping around here, not doing much, but we've got to get ready because we're going to get one more pullback to buy this. Okay, now here's where we are over the last few days. We've had a nice move down, stopped, let's just put these in, you'll be able to see them. Stopped almost exactly at the 78. The rally back 3 days ago stopped exactly at 618. And look at this, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and we can't even back off at all. This is a really bullish, just like this one here was, folks. This is a very bullish pattern. So one of the things I want to be watching now is I'm paying attention to see if the soybeans will pull back to this level right here, 103.12. Okay, that's pretty much it. Now, I've had several people ask me recently because, I did a lot of traveling. I was in Europe. Sarah was in Europe. I came home. I had a chance to go to Las Vegas to see some really dear friends that wanted to thank me for, getting lucky and catching some of the big down move in the stocks. And they had me fly over for a couple days and have some fun. And the problem was I got there and the one gentleman that I'd known for, 35 years, and we're the same age, he collapsed in front of me and stopped breathing. And fortunately, they live in a nice area of Las Vegas, and the paramedics were there within 5 minutes at the most. And he was in his lights were out, actually. And so we went over to the Sunrise Hospital and spent the day praying for him, and he finally came out of the coma a couple days later, and now he's up and alert, and he did make it through. But boy, you want to tell you how quick and short life can be, folks. When you're my age and you see something like happen to a good friend right in front of your eyes, it's not an easy task. But I heard this story before, so at least it's going. Let's get back to what really everybody's interested in soybeans. Folks, you got to buy beans here if they get down another 16 cents, okay? That's at 10:31. I'm going to buy soybeans because that's a 382. It's going to be taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to get there. there, that would be an ideal situation. We're in the situation now where the beans are already planted, most of them. This is April. Now, they'll be definitely planted by the 15th of May, and then we have to get through the growing season. And then we have not had a quiver of any type of crop problems in any of the grains here for 4 or 5 years. So we are overdue. And as you know, the weather can change in a heartbeat. And boy, when these things take off, you've got to be really ready. Just to give you an idea, we'll just go back and take a look at a monthly chart, and you can see what happens. This is going back a few years here. Now, see, these were not really crop scares, folks, but we went from 1080. We rallied 2.5 bushel during the growing season right here. There's July. That's when it usually tops. Okay. Here's you can see there's September. It tops a little later here in September or August, but that's what you're looking for. These are not crop scares. These are just potential crop scares. A real crop scare is when it goes, well, it doesn't give you enough data here. Maybe I can do the yearly. No, the monthly is all it's going to give me. But those of you remember, we've seen these run from $8 to $13. And that's a $40,000 move, folks. That's like one of those moves in the stock market. But that's what we're watching. You can see we've got a nice little, it's not a head and shoulders because the left shoulder is far higher than the right shoulder. So we do have a positive effect coming in here. So you want to buy those beans at 1031 and put a stop at 1021. So you don't have to risk more than that. You got to risk more than that to be a farmer. You're going to have to risk 20 cents. So 1031, you're going to have to put your stop at 1011. Let me put that in here. So we're going to be doing this one on the air on Friday, so we'll watch that. But we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We're sitting in the middle of the range right now, so all we need is a little bit of a pullback in here, and that'll get us a good shot to be long. Now let's check the soybean meal. That's been very good to us this whole growing season, so we're going to look at it again. You'll see where we bought it down there at that 80 level. Hold on one second. Looks like they might even, shucks. All right, here it is. Here's the soybean meal. This is July. If you remember, we bought that down here and had a nice run. And let's see where we are. We'll clean all this out so we can look at it fresh. Okay, because there's where we bought it on this move right there. Okay. There's the soybean meal. It rallied $1,400. Well, actually, $2,000. I said $1,400, what we're looking for. So that's what it did. And now look at this. We've got a buy pattern in the meal right now. This is a strong buy pattern. We're going to go over this when we come back. So stay with us.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, this is soybean meal. I'll get back to the other markets in a minute. I know you're screaming about it. This is what I enjoy doing because I agricultural background. Anyway, there's your ABCD, timed down perfectly. There's the buy, rally up. You can see where it went to on a long-term basis. There it went right up to the exact 382. There's where your profit was. Here's where we are now, blowing this up. We're going to go to a 4-hour chart so we can see it real clearly. And this is where I would be buying some meal, folks. Here's what we'll be watching. I'm going to draw it in. There's your low down here. There's your high. There's your ABCD. I'll be buying it right here, $3 lower. Let's buy it at $2.98. I'm going to buy meal at $2.98 and put a stop down here at $2.98. I'll put a stop down here at, say, $2.90. So I'm going to risk $8. And if it's right, it's going to have at least $2,000 in it because you have an A, B, C, D taking us up here into this stronger level as we see that. So we're done with the soybean meal. All right, now let's go back and take a look to see what's going. Oh, we've got PT in the house. Paula, how are you doing, young lady?
I'm doing just fine, Larry. How about you?
Paula, you talked to me Saturday, so you know how I am. No, I'm doing good. So, Paula,
okay, I'm just being cordial here.
I know you are. Folks, Easter was one of our greatest holidays together for the past 35 years with Paula and Mark, and she was kind enough to send me a beautiful bouquet of flowers, which I really made my day. Paula, tell us, you got some books coming out, folks. Tell us about your book and your radio show and how the folks can reach you. They don't want to hear me talk anymore anyway, so please continue.
Well, I don't believe about that, but hey, the latest book, The Keys to Power Profits, we did change the book cover, so I'm going to show that to you guys now. See? Doesn't that look a lot better?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's a little, our test market, they were like, yeah, we like the book, but not so much on the cover. So I listened, and we changed it. So it's the same book, just a different cover. The next book that's coming out, again, is The Sacred Path of the Warrior Trader. I'm hoping to get that out by mid-May. So, thank you all for being patient with that. My radio show, Your Finances on a Higher Power, can be found on my website under Paula's radio show page. And my website's paulatweb.com. You can see here, in the background. And we've got a lot of new stuff coming up. We're doing publicly doing life coaching now for traders and their families or their spouses, as I mentioned previously. Got a couple workshops coming up, Living with a Trader 101 and the Disciplined Trader, Developing Your Warrior Mindset workshop coming up. And that's all on my website. Everything is live, guys. It's in person only due to all the internet piracy, which drove Mark crazy and drives you crazy too, Larry, I know.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's kind of where we're at. And we're always happy to be here with you, Larry, because you're the best of the best when it comes to methodology, at least one of the best that I know. So
I only know one thing, dear, ABCD. I can remember every day Mark would come into the office, AB equals CD. What do you got for me?
Right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I know.
Paula T, we ought to try to do a live seminar like we did here 30-some years ago in Tucson, either in Phoenix or in Palm Beach, your Palm Springs, or here. We ought to do that. We were so much fun, and gosh, I'll think about that. I know Rich Anderson wanted to be involved, so we'll talk about that maybe for the fall.
Well, it wasn't quite
possibly.
30 years ago, okay?
I know. It's 30 years ago. I can't believe it. That's well, tell me about it. I'm looking at the 9th furlong pole now, dear. The Kentucky Derby coming up. Paula T, I have a question for us from one of our listeners over across the pond over there in the UK, and that is, how does he explain? Because his family's giving him a lot of flack, saying that, God, you're doing nothing but gambling, nothing but gambling, nothing but gambling. And I tell him, I said, look, we're insurance brokers. We're taking the risk from someone to someone else. How do you explain that when people bring that? I'm sure you get that question a lot from family members.
Well, yeah, and especially in the last year or so, with the markets being as wild as they are. There's a lot of people who are not traders that don't understand what trading is. Countless people, family members especially, think you're just gambling. It's like, well, why don't you just go to Vegas and blow your money? They don't understand that interferes with the trader's mindset. And that's where I come in as a life coach or a trading coach to help their family members understand that you're doing more harm than good by not supporting your trader, because the more support a trader gets from those who love them, the better they're going to do in the markets. And that's what he should kind of mention to his family, that if get off my back, I mean, basically, let me do this for X period of time, make an agreement with them saying, give me 6 months, give me a year, give me 2 years, whatever, you guys decide on, which is something that Mark and I created years ago. As you remember, Larry, we came up with contracts for traders and their spouses saying, we're going to allot this amount of money to it, this amount of time, and they both sign it. And, then they stay out of the trader's way so he can actually do his job. Trading is a job. It's not gambling per se. It is a job. It is a career. The only reason we're traders is to make money. And without money, then you don't have a future. So let the trader, this is to your friend across the pond, go back to your family and say, look, I'm doing the best I can, but you're making a lot harder for me by not supporting me. And that's the bottom line. And I supported Mark no matter what he was doing with his trading, especially we had a lot of fun when Robert St. John came to Tucson and the three of you were sitting over there rocking and rolling for quite some time. And I supported you guys by staying out of the way, okay, and making dinner, okay? So it can be as simple as that. It really can.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Robert was one of a kind. He traded 1,000 bonds at a time, folks. And
he was amazing.
He was a real player, that's for sure. And one day he just got tired of it and became a preacher, and has been very happy ever since. So what are you going to do? Hey, listen now. Tell the folks. The three of you
really did a great job trading, and I just want to point that out to everybody that the three of you traded well together because there was no interference.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you were at your home. Robert came to visit, and Mark came over there, and Mark was writing Trading in the Zone at the same time, and so he got both Robert St. John and Mark got a lot of support from you, Larry. And I want to point that out to your audience that Trading in the Zone might not have gotten written in the time period that it did if he hadn't had a quiet space in your home to work and to trade together. So I just want to point that out to everybody, that you really had a really positive influence on our future and our, at least that book and trading.
Yeah.
And that's why I recommend my students come and see you if they need a methodology.
Well,
because you don't allow any interference.
Both ways, because he was a great support to me, that's for sure. But I remember when we were sitting here the first day, and Robert bought 500 bonds. I looked over at Mark and I shook my head and said, "Oh dear, what we've gotten into here." Anyway, it turned out okay. Thanks for joining us, PT. We'll have you on in 2 weeks, okay? I'll have you on at the regular time. Thank you, dear. Paula Webb, folks. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, we're going to follow through with this gold trade. We had an hour ago when it first came on the show here, we said it should get to a 382, which is in fact what it's done. Okay, now we started the show right here. We made it up here. That was up $36 rally off the bottom. And as long as we don't get above this, we still think we have a downtrend. Now we're still only trading $4 off of that, so we could easily go higher than that. But that's how, if you're going to trade gold and watch it closely, this is a 13-minute chart, so there's a lot of swings in here, but it allows you to trade it without putting a $30 or $40 stop in it. So when you're trading up in here, you can use an $8 or $10 stop. If you're trading in an hourly chart in here, you can't trade that because it's swinging so much. I mean, $100, folks, from there to there, $100 up and $100 down. That's a $200 swing in 2 days, and it's not finished. Folks, remember, this is 3,500. Somewhere up in here, there's going to be a major top, and then, look out below. But look out below is not operative right now. Still in a bull market. We're just on the shadowy side here of a potential bear market. That's all we're watching as we're looking at that right here. Those of you that are trading and are having trouble, give Paula a call, folks. She'll give you a free session to let you see what she can do to help you, because she's been through all of this. She was the backbone of what Mark did. She did all the correcting and adding all stuff to it, so she really knows what she's doing and is quite good at it. I've known her 40 years, and boy, she is darn good. Let's take a look here at these bonds. They're still working in the correction now. We're now down almost 500 points. Yeah, how close? Yeah, just about 500 points off the high. Remember, when we looked at that on the hourly chart, that was bouncing right at the 61% retracement right up here. Now, the pullback, as you can see so far, remember, this was the low we had yesterday, so we want to watch to see if there's going to be a 382 somewhere in here. Looks like we might get to it real close here. That would be there at 38.90. We got to stay above that, folks. If we don't get below that, then it could have another leg down, but we'll have to wait and see. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.